I did not realize that was coming.
Can I have?
It's gonna. The armor-piercing rockets are gonna be able to go through cruiser hull into the citadels. And
Wow.
battleships, possibly, depending on where you hit.
Can I have my B? Was it 25s? With my Americans, please.
Mm.
Dang it.
All right. Does anyone else have anything for warships? Okay. Is anyone here to give a status update on or report on Eve?
What is there to report on Eve? During the conclusion of the war bash that happened 2 nights ago, we made contact with another fleet that was unrelated to Starfleet entirely, but they were really impressed with the way we conducted our operation and just desired to maintain a dialogue, which I've been facilitating for the last 4 hours. To my understanding so far, there's not really too much for either party to gain from the relationship, but it's good just to have a friendly phase out in the wild dark yonder. Vice Admiral Ashy and several others have started moving assets to the new HQ to be. We've located where we're going to set up shop, and we've started moving some things there. We're setting up on Friday. Instead of doing our normal wormhole operations, we're conducting en masse fleet transport so that we're doing a safety in numbers movement, and also to cut down on the dire boredom of making 22 jumps through darkness and with nothing else to do but watch the loading screens go by. And we've also started just identifying other corporations that are participating in what's called faction warfare that we would be able to align with, or at least target similar goals with. And we're just doing that preliminary investigation now before we arrive on scene. But other than that, no, there's nothing really new to report.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for that much. All good to hear. Glad to hear that the move operations have actually begun. All right. Wednesday will be War Thunder. I don't really have much to talk about with that, but we will play War Thunder this Wednesday. As I mentioned before, I don't want that fire to go out. I want it to stay warm. It'd be great if it got hot. Did anyone get around to messaging Falls? Like, I want to do a mass message to Mr. Falls. Does anyone see his account name on Discord?
Hi, he's on.
He's on. Would you folks kindly tagging him is not enough because I don't think he'll actually see the tag, but he will get a flood of messages, won't he? All right, Starfleet, your orders. Should you choose to accept them? What's Falls' rank? He's Chief Petty Officer, right? CPO.
Hi.
Yeah. Find him in the Starfleet roster or connected users list on your right. Send him a message. All you have to simply say is, "We'll be playing War Thunder on Wednesday." That is all. He'll know it's me. I think he'll know. All right. Next game. Battlefield. I'm putting out feelers for BF5. Does anyone? Is there anyone in channel who hopes to get it? All right. Are there people in channel who do have it? Nobody? All right, that's a surprise. I thought at least somebody got it in channel. Castile, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
Now. Welcome. All right, just wanted to make sure your comms are good.
I have to admit, I didn't hear what Jamie said.
Just about BF5. I'm getting chatter to. I'm getting feedback to not get BF5 after all. But do we have any information or any preliminary information on BF6 or any other Battlefield series game?
I do have BF5, by the way. There's a few.
You do have 5. Okay. All right. Roger that. All right. I'm showing Amber on my connection to Discord. Let me know if I start cutting out or something. Oh wait, back to green. All right. 10. All right. Let's see. What's the calendar say? When's the next Battlefield night? By the way, Nick, were you able to fix that? The calendar?
I just needed reinitialization.
Do you know why it went down?
Probably routine maintenance by the dev.
Thursday, July. Roger that. Thursday, July 2nd will be the next Battlefield night. Tuesday is WoW's training. I forgot to mention that. World of Warships. If you plan on playing in clan battles for the next season, you've got to start attending these trainings. If you cannot attend, I need to know. All right, let's see. Friday is expected. I'm sorry. I'll be there. Roger that. Friday is, of course, social gaming night with Eve running wormhole operations, which also spill into Saturday. Last Saturday, or yesterday, I should say, I did cancel Warships night because we had such sizable leads. I still need a report on First Fleet. Does anyone have that for me? Mercedes trap. Nobody in First Fleet, huh?
I haven't been logged in at all recently, so.
I closed Warship, get it ready for Bridgeport.
Oh, okay, no worries, no worries. All right, at some point during the night, we should just get a broadcast update of First Fleet naval battles. I expect that it's almost largely unchallenged. I just want to confirm that they're not making a last-minute push right under our nose. All right, what other game? Let's see. Halo is not on the list except for tomorrow. Okay, sorry, I'm Halo is tomorrow, the 29th. Not sure if we're gonna focus on trying to do different campaigns or get back into multiplayer. We will ping the fleet tomorrow and figure that out. Figure out what we want to do, campaign. Or for those of you who haven't finished the campaign and don't know the campaign at all, we'll figure all that out tomorrow. I think that is it. I'm sorry, have we officially reported that Eve did win in the war operations?
Not that I've heard, but I haven't been here for all the things.
Fair.
Yeah, so the Vice Admiral, actually, you'd be best to touch on this one for the war effort specifically, if you're even present. Okay, well, the only thing to really touch on is that there were two war declarations. The first of the two were resolved by our fleet activity. The second one, basically, it was a corporation that was made up by individuals just to go after player-owned structures that were abandoned, and they came after us because one of our structures fell into low power. We immediately put it up back to full power, and when they realized we were going to put up a defense for it, they immediately left us alone. And so after some more investigation into that corporation, we collectively decided not to take an aluminum bat to a proverbial hornet's nest and left them alone, and that will peter off on its own. So effectively, the war situation has been resolved. But it is technically still ongoing until the other one is canceled in some form, because we're not going to pursue it any further.
Roger that. So when the one where the hunter-gatherer is there, when does that technically expire?
The first one or the second one? Because the first one we took a fleet to and took out their HQ. The second one is the one that they're just going around doing their own thing. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes. Sorry, I
yeah.
call them hunter-gatherers.
No, that's okay. I don't actually know the answer to that.
Should be the 1st.
Say again, Nick?
Should be Wednesday the 1st.
There you go.
Good. So that's 2 clear operations, wartime operations that, we've either done well on or just literally broken in half.
I would like to add one final thing on that note, though, just because
Please.
you have been mentioning a couple times that you've been wanting to know Starfleet's effective wartime capability within EVE, and both reporting from EVE veterans that are within the corporation presently, and with the other 2 people who we interacted with during the conclusion of the structure bash 2 nights ago, all reports are indicating that presently the fleet power that we can quickly put together is actually quite potent, with special regards to what is called logi cruisers or logistics cruisers, which is essentially a fleet support mechanic in the game that a lot of fleet movements do without and don't succeed, and we were able to field 2 ships of that caliber, and it drew the attention of these other 2 people who I mentioned earlier, and I was talking to them this morning, and they just repeatedly stressed how impressed they were with our conduct and the way that we were able to operate. So I'm far from an EVE veteran, but to answer your earlier inquiry as to if we are able to muster a significant force, all current signs indicate that we are, and that's only growing. So
That's great. Thank you. And more importantly, thank you for remembering that. That is definitely one of my interests to just, track and stay on top of. And I appreciate that. And it's great news. Hearing a report like that seems like a hard merit to earn, not 1 but 2. Great that we're making friends, and great that they recognize us for who we are, who we're aiming to stand as in that game. I'm going to try to put my head back in that game. I would really like it if others were to do the same. There are 2 avenues you could pursue. Yes, creating the account and recruiting, but the other one is actually full-on playing. Even in the low operations, if you could if you could make yourself available to training, once a week, even an hour and a half or 2 hours, a night. It would go a long way to setting you on your own path in EVE, whether you want to be a combat operations person or a logistics operations person. If you're a miner, if you do like the hustle and the struggle, there's everything there for you in EVE and more. I'm a complete novice, and I'm trying to name things that I can barely touch on myself. So in terms of making it sound opportunistic or attractive is really the better word. But they could always use more Starfleet veterans in there, because the challenge is, training our new people to our community, training them and getting them comfortable with it. All right, I think I've covered just about every game. Just a reminder that the fleet meeting will not go as normal. For those who know and for those who don't know, the fleet meetings are always on the first Sunday of every month. We are delaying it by 1 week for holidays in both here in the States and abroad. Apparently, there's another major holiday that we have taken into account. So it's a good time to bump it by a week per order of the Fleet Admiral. Fleet-wide condition is green. EVE and Starbase New Eden remain at red alert through the course of their wartime operations. Are there any status reports or anything I need to know? All right. Can I just get a quick shout out? How many we've got available for bridge crew?
Online, sir.
I'll be there.
All right, and again, could someone just throw out a YouTube video on bridge crew gameplay for Ops channel, just so we can show whoever's here what the game is like. While that's happening, if someone could, or you know, 1 or 2 URLs is fine. If you are not in Bridge Crew tonight, could you just shout out what you're in?
I have no idea.
I'm in Warships as of right now.
I've not heard of that game, Doctor, but thank you. Copy that for Warships.
Presently just playing Eve.
Roger that. All right, so there you have it. If you don't have a game, feel free to pair up with any of those folks who have just spoken up. Was there someone else who added something that you have here?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Sorry, thought I heard you or someone else maybe. Alrighty. I am delayed a little bit in my evening plans, but I shall be home at some point. I'll stay connected for a bit longer, but all right, consider Scrum concluded. Sorry for going over a few minutes, and thank you for attending.
Ensign Scorch departing.
Pardon. All right, who's going to lead the charge in the Bridge Crew?
So, Tucker from before, do you still want it?
I mean, if you got it, I would definitely play it.
Okay. I need to know what do you call it? It's the... Okay, I need you to bring me as a friend or something like that to be able to send it to you, I think.
Alrighty. Just give me a sec. I'm still in a Warships game, trying to survive as best I can. It's ranked. I have 3 minutes left, hopefully less.
Okay, I'll just wait then.
Sorry.
Nah, that's fine.
Okay, so nobody's going to take the point in Bridge Crew.
So quiet. Pardon the interruption, sir. Forgot I wasn't pushed to talk. But who do I talk to get information on the Eve Corporation?
Thank you for the inquiry. I think either Commander Nick or Acting Ensign Scorch can help you and point you in the right direction. Have you set up a brand new account, or is this an existing one?
Existing for quite some time.
Got it. Excellent. Nick, if you're predisposed, could you summon the ensign and get him back to ops?
Take care of that as soon as I finish up right here.
I cannot
Thank you,
believe
sir.
I just won that. Holy crap.
Who am I?